What in the world is going on with travel these days? I, for one, was so excited to start traveling like it was 2019 again, and the worst days of the pandemic were behind us. I was vaxxed, I was boosted, countries were dropping entry requirements left and right, testing requirements and quarantine rules were basically all a thing of the past. And it was becoming so seamless just to book a flight, pack your bag, and go. But with all the increased traffic and demand, travel has become a logistical nightmare. Like, it has just gotten out of control. Everyone is traveling with a vengeance, and airlines and agents were completely unprepared for the increased demand. Travel in summer 22 has just become a hot, steaming mess. And you guys have all seen the stories, the record wait times for luggage, if your bags ever even show up. Flights being canceled with a moment's notice, people being forced to wait hours, if not days in the airport for a new flight out. Travel is supposed to be exciting, but definitely not like this. So if you're planning to travel this summer or fall and want to make the most of your experience and avoid all the drama, keep watching for my tips on how to avoid some major travel nightmares this season. But before we get into that, please give me a second to introduce myself. My name is Malika, and if this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm an expat and travel content creator from the US, currently living in Lebanon. If you like this video and want to see more tips on traveling internationally and moving to a new country, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I share a lot about my experience moving to Lebanon and also my past experience living in Italy, but for now, let's just get right into it. So number one, skip the check bags. I personally hate checking luggage, and I always try my best to avoid it, but that is going to be critical with all this travel drama going on these days. Luggage is straight up disappearing left and right, or taking days, if not weeks, to be tracked down. And if your luggage gets lost and you have to shop for new items, it can take weeks to reimburse, and the airline may not even cover it all. So just save yourself the stress and pack light. Invest in packing cubes or even travel-friendly space bags that will help you maximize your space. I recently got a really great set from Easy Travel. They're so amazing. When you land, grab any essential liquids or toiletries that you may have had to leave behind. Hell, depending on where you're going, you can even squeeze in a few hours of shopping to get some pieces that didn't fit in your suitcase when you packed and got on the flight. And definitely try minimizing your shoes or bulky items. Like, plan your outfits around 1 or 2 comfortable pairs of shoes because they do tend to take up the most space and the most weight. But you don't have to create a boring capsule wardrobe or give up all your cute, Insta-friendly outfits. I've packed like literally 2 weeks worth of clothes into a carry-on bag and was able to style 17 different outfits. I have a video about that, so check out that video link below in the description box. And if you end up buying too much stuff when you're traveling and then have to check on the way back, that is fine. It's way less stressful. Even if they lose your bags then, at least your vacation's over and you're back home with everything else that you would need. Number 2, avoid booking through a third party. Booking through a third party like Travelocity or Expedia can be really convenient and save you a lot of money on your bundle deals, but with all the travel craziness going on right now, it will only add another layer of stress. Those third-party vendors are extremely limited in terms of what they can do for customer service. Most of them just have to wait to connect to the airline or hotel directly and then pass along their latest policies and updates to you. But you could just cut the middleman and go direct to those vendors. You'll have much more flexibility if you book with the airline directly, access to more experienced, more senior customer service agents, and reduce wait times to help get your situation figured out. Plus, if you're someone that has a relationship with that airline, like status or even a frequent travel history and a lot of miles, you can leverage that for better treatment if anything does go wrong. Number 3, plan to arrive as early as possible. If you, like me, are not a morning person, get in the habit of getting out on the first flight of the day. London's Heathrow Airport recently announced they were capping the number of daily visitors because of the increased volume. So most people with flights scheduled to land in the afternoon or evening will be at higher risk of getting canceled. Plus, as flights start getting delayed or canceled, things quickly and easily get backlogged, so your chances of getting out get worse and worse. An early morning delay or cancellation may only cost you a few hours, but if you're on one of the scheduled departures later that day, you'll probably be dumped like 24 hours or more. And if you're connecting to a train or a cruise, catch that flight super early and be sure you have an adequate gap in between your connection times. People have missed out on entire week-long cruises just because their flight to the port in Florida was canceled and then they couldn't get on another one for days. I recently flew into Paris and I had to catch a train to Saint-Emilion, and we barely made it by the time we got out of the airport, ran into a taxi, and peeled into the train station. And while we did arrive in the perfect time for our plans for the weekend, it was so stressful. And I really wish I would have built in more buffer time just to not be that anxious. And if my flight would have been delayed even like 15 minutes or we would have had to check bags, the entire day would have been ruined because we'd have missed the train and all the later ones were sold out. So just do yourself a favor and build in more buffer time. If your final destination requires connection by train or boat, I might even recommend arriving a full day early and just getting a hotel for the extra night. Plan early and plan for things to go wrong so you can still end up having fun and enjoying your trip. Number 4, don't get sick. So COVID never really went away, right? We just kind of collectively got sick of it and stopped policing. So once all the pre-travel testing requirements started dropping and there was less of a risk of testing positive and being forced to quarantine abroad, the floodgates were basically open. But COVID is still very much spreading, and now we also have to worry about monkeypox. And the way I'm getting so paranoid about monkeypox is like ridiculous. So right now there are no travel regulations around monkeypox. You better believe people are infected and traveling with it. Whether they know they have it and they're in their early stages before the lesions show up is up to debate. But all you can do is take precautions to protect yourself from both dangerous diseases. Even though masks are no longer required, wear one anyway, preferably a surgical one or N95. I know they're uncomfortable, but suck it up anyway. Also, I have just never been a fan of exposed skin when traveling. It gives me the heebie-jeebies, so I remain fully covered up, especially now. My airport uniform is basically leggings and a sweatshirt or button down, and even if I wore shoes that didn't require socks, I do keep a pair handy and put them on my feet on board just so I'm not barefoot. And if anyone you're sitting next to is uncomfortable or showing signs of an illness, you can quickly and discreetly ask a flight attendant to change your seat, but do not make a scene or publicly shame anyone. Some people do have chronic acne or other medical conditions that could present like pox or lesions. It could cause them to have lots of random non-contagious bumps to their body that are not monkeypox, and they deserve respect and sensitivity. So take your precautions, of course, but just keep it quiet, classy, and safe. Number 5, avoid flying. Now, obviously this will only work for people who are planning short trips, but you can save a ton of headaches by just avoiding air travel altogether. Take a road trip, gas prices allowing, or hop on the train or a bus. Amtrak has a ton of beautiful routes that run all over the USA, and if you live in Europe, you already know you can get anywhere you need to go by train. Or if you're a fan of cruises and you live near a port of departure, or you can get to one without flying, that's another really great option. While that may rule out the destination you've been dreaming of this year, you can always save the cash and go next year, hopefully when things have calmed down. And last but not least, number 6, know your rights. Airlines will try to get away with literally anything they can, so it's up to you to stay informed about what your rights are. So read the fine print, or if you don't, at least follow people on social media that do. I follow a few on TikTok. And of course, all the circumstances will vary based on how late your flight was delayed, the impact of your cancellation, which country your trip originated in, or more. But depending on the circumstances, you could be entitled to cash, hotel and meal vouchers, flight credits, and more. Do your research before booking, after you book, and then again before you depart, so all the info is fresh in your brain. Print out the terms and conditions and highlight any relevant parts if you need to before you head to the airport. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what trips you have planned this summer and if all the craziness of 2022 travel is making you hold off. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it. Please subscribe. This channel is still new and I'm really trying to grow it. So thanks again for all the support. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.